Chime in what's happening to your favorite KFAN shows. You can. It's super easy. You can make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. Just let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard text message and data rates apply.
The who, what, where, when, and why of the 9 to noon radio presentation, or so shared by Double B. Brett Blakemore filling in for Nordo this week. He'll be back Monday after a couple of days of radio that we call audio, but it's still called radio on the radio. Then Nordo and I will be back together again. See what's up with this USA soccer team. I mentioned last segment that before I get to these ball bits, we got plenty of time. Got plenty of time tomorrow too. We got all our lives for LaMelo Ball. Holy cow! How excited is everybody? But I mentioned last segment that I had the honor of going to Adam Thielen's retirement party on the east side, no diggity, and I ran into Jarius Wright. And we were talking about a play at what used to be TCF Bank Stadium, a walk-off winner against the New York Jets, and I was pretty sure the Con did a parody to that. I couldn't remember what it was called or what it was, so the intrepid fill-in went out there and found it, and here it is.
The season was supposed to be so special, but it isn't.
Hey.
Another year halfway in and we're feeling down.
The Con!
Looking ahead, gotta turn this franchise around.
The Con!
Hey, Ziggy and Rick with the draft night trick. So far it is working out. You got us Teddy and the Jets.
Teddy and the Jets.
Oh, so they're young but incredible. Jets, the quickest you have seen.
Oh, that's Jet. He's not the Jets. It's Jerick McKinnon. It's that Jet. That's my L. The Con! Meanwhile, let's hear 10 more seconds of that. This is really good. I forgot how good this was. Teddy and the Jet.
Shakes the tackle at the 35. Stutter steps at the 40. Highlights to the right at the 50. Stays on his feet at the 40. Look at Jerick McKinnon fly. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Teddy!
Touchdown, Teddy!
And Teddy Smooth. That's
and Teddy Smooth.
On your fantasy team.
Could call him the Con. Thank you for that. That was cool. Jace Frederick, Pioneer Press, 10 minutes from now. He covers the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Pioneer Press and TwinCities.com. I've met Jace before, but I have viewed and or read most of his work from afar, and I really enjoy when he joins the Dane Moore NBA podcast, and that took place within the last 4 days. So excited to talk to Jace around the corner about LaMelo Ball and some talking points after a weekend that I needed to get squared away on this LaMelo Ball thing because, as I said an hour and 15 minutes ago, last Thursday, last time I was on the radio, Friday, vocal maintenance day, though.
I always love that one.
I got rattled, and I was unprepared, and I laid on like, well, LaMelo's had 246 possible games to play, and he's only played 105, and he just played 72, so maybe they think they're getting over on you. And then vocal maintenance day came, weekend came, conversations came, and now I feel like I'm completely squared away on LaMelo Ball. That is until we chat with Jace, who covers the team and is super plugged in. So after the weekend to get squared away, went steamrolling to get some takes other than the low-hanging, lurid injury history that is LaMelo Ball. Jace Frederick around the corner. LaMelo in with Josh Green and Naz Reid gone. We all know that. Interesting to me, the Charlotte Hornets, it might have been yesterday, but it was within the last couple of days. The Charlotte Hornets also traded a player named Miles Bridges. Now, he went to Phoenix, and they got Grayson Allen and the skeletal remains of Royce O'Neal. He in going to the Suns with Bridges, the Charlotte Hornets have now ridded themselves of LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges and are building around second-year sharpshooter Con Knipple. Brandon Miller, and maybe rookie point guard Christian Anderson, and of course Naz Reid. Now, Miles has a checkered legal past, but never served time. And Melo played, as I said, like 105 games out of a possible 246 or so. So they're resetting their culture down Tobacco Roadway, and you can read into that however you desire. So here are some LaMelo Ball bullets. LaMelo Ball bullets, either being overlooked or underplayed. Number one, his size. I can't believe I took the fattest L last Thursday and didn't get into the fact the young man's 6'7". I mean, Blakemore doesn't know much about basketball, and he's already put a Magic Johnson comparison on him because Magic was 6'8".
I always love that one.
I'm not willing to go that far, but LaMelo Ball is a 6'7" guard who really rebounds well. As I said Thursday, I can't say he rebounds as well as fellow tall guard Amen Thompson, but LaMelo can rebound, and he's 6'7". He does have a good feel for the game, despite some quirky one-footed stuff that like makes you go, what? Huh? What happened? Why? What happened? It's clear Finchie can use that point guard size to his advantage for the how. That was left over there in the corner of the room in the proverbial room and the symbolic cutting room floor for LaMelo Ball last Thursday. Number two, he turns 25 in 2 months. LaMelo Ball turns 25 years of age in August. Still growing and maturing as a professional. Showmanship, the young man's showmanship can be infectious. Age-wise, he's on the same timeline as Anthony, Jaden, Shannon Jr., and Clark. Yeah, and Jalen Clark. So it's clear to me they still sense a title-winning window with this group and seem to like how the ages of the most key contributors align with each other. Number three, I truly believe they feel LaMelo Ball absolutely will push the pace and help with the quality of shot that other Timberwolves will be taking. Like there were times last couple of years with Julius, Stifle, and Slow-Mo and Nas. I mean, man, it looked like they were pulling sleds up and down the court.
I always love that one.
With respect, not the most fleet of foot, not the swiftest team offering up the most alacrity of any team in the history of the NBA. But I am guessing they really, really, really like the aspect of putting their pedal to the metal with LaMelo Ball. And really, if you get outside the box a little bit, I mean, that could maximize Rudy Gobert and Baron J, the 20-year-old French center. Helter-skelter with the speed, and there's the 20-year-old Frenchman soaring down the lane for a slam dunk. Broken plays. Defenders figuring out where to go on the fly. I got 4 and I got 5. I got some Brian Windhorst steam and some more with LaMelo Ball and the bullet points. And we'll mix in some of those with Jace Frederick of the Pioneer Press, who covers the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's going to be the next segment on KFAN. The Con!
It's PA.
So I see Paul, and of course...
The Fan welcomes some great shows to Mystic Lake Amphitheater. 311 and the Dirty Heads will be there July 11th. John Mellencamp July 14th. Black Crows July 28th. Get complete details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Hey, Jace, it's Paul Allen. Thanks for joining 9 to noon. It's greatly appreciated. How are you?
PA, good, man. About with you?
Right on, bud. Things are, the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's just the ways and means become rearranged. That's the best way to answer it. At Jace Frederick via X, at Jace Frederick via X. We've mentioned it a couple of times. He covers the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Pioneer Press and TwinCitiesLive.com. What do you enjoy about the Timberwolves beat? Because I know you write about and cover different things, but like I would venture a guess from afar, Jace, the Timberwolves beat is your professional A topic. What do you enjoy about it?
I like the people, PA. I really do. All of it. I think Chris Finch, Micah Nori, Elston Turner, like the coaching staff's great people to be around. Matt Lloyd, Tim Connolly, like professional relationships, but they also will ask you, like, hey, how's your day going? How's your family? All of this stuff. And, like, they're just fun people to be around. And that even transcends down to the players. Like Mike Conley is one of the more fun people I've ever covered, in that he's insightful, but also just a fun guy to hang out with in the locker room for a few minutes. I love the people on the beat. I love Dane Moore, John Krasinski, Chris Hine, Britt Robson. A lot of people, like, I like being around all of the people. And I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. But getting to enjoy it with people that I legitimately enjoy being around, that's probably my favorite part of covering the Wolves in general.
Well, that was a phenomenal answer. Thanks for sharing that. And a few days ago, Jace wrote the Tim, and Jace doesn't write the headlines, but it's part of the context and the meat of the story. The Timberwolves long have thought of LaMelo Ball as a dream co-pilot for an Anthony Edwards-led offense. Why do you think that is?
I really do think it's something where they knew they needed a point guard, in that somebody who can kind of set the table for Anthony Edwards and who can get actions going where Anthony Edwards is coming off a pin down or something to that effect. Or Ant, for a while now, has been the only guy who can really break down a defense and get into the paint. And if you get somebody else who can do that, like LaMelo, who can run pick and rolls to break down a defense and just kind of break down their structure a little bit and create more opportunities off the ball on the perimeter, where Anthony Edwards can maybe kind of like float or relocate and get to an open three. Those are things where this is the best catch and shoot 3-point shooter like in the NBA, Anthony Edwards. He shoots a high percentage. So many of them are off the bounce. The ones where it's catch and shoot, it's almost a lock. And they can generate more of that stuff now. It's another ball handler who can break down defenses, who can maybe relieve some pressure. It's harder to double team Ant if LaMelo Ball is floating one pass away. So there's just a lot of things that I think this will make life easier and better for Anthony Edwards. And the Wolves have thought that for a while of, okay, he needs a point guard, but ideally they didn't want it to just be some maybe not great shooter, maybe not real scoring threat, just like the dribble pass, just to get the offense started, like a real threat. Somebody who Anthony Edwards won't be like, maybe I should come get the ball after this defensive rebound, to where he can go, okay, I can defer to LaMelo. I know what LaMelo can do, and now I can go get myself set up to score easily here.
Jace, would you guess, given the injury history with LaMelo Ball, the Hornets feel off a 72-game season where they get bounced by Orlando in the play-in, they are getting out at just the right time on LaMelo Ball?
I think they probably think they are reducing risk, in that they know what it's been like going through the seasons where he's not available. And he plays a season like this, and I agree with you. It can be like there is a chance that that's the best season LaMelo plays in a while here, just in terms of availability. And he was awesome. And it was a really good fit in all of it. And they still obviously didn't get to the playoffs, but like that maybe is where they felt LaMelo's value would be at its highest. I think that could be part of the reason for the trade.
Yeah.
I think they could think they just have some great stuff in Brandon Miller and Concanipple, and are like, hey, let's empower those two guys to be the real futures of our franchise, on cheaper deals at the moment. So I think there are multiple reasons. I don't think any of them necessarily have to be bad knocks on LaMelo, but I could see why they did it as well.
And locally, do you feel it was tougher for the fans or the actual team losing Naz Reid?
I mean, I think for the team perspective, it's tough, but they are just so much in the idea of this is a business. They know they're in the same job where, they could be fired or they could be traded or all of this stuff. So even if you have connections with Naz, and I heard this a lot, we hate to lose Naz. I think there just isn't more of an acceptance of this is basketball, it's a business. We're constantly trying to improve the team. So I definitely think it's more of the fan base that would feel tougher and maybe feel it longer and lament it more, because I have never really seen a fan base connect to a player, specifically a role player, to this degree. It was really cool to see. And yeah, I mean, I think it is probably sad for people to, anytime you lose a player, but especially one that felt like kind of part of the fabric of the franchise over this last nearly decade now. So probably more so on that end. But man, like the Timberwolves front office and coaching staff, they are people who really feel for things. And like, I'm sure they will miss Naz Reid, but they also know like, hey, this is just kind of part of life in the NBA.
Jace, from what you've seen or what you know, and you You're an elite basketball mind. So, I mean, you can see something. You don't have to watch the entire season, but you get it. In what ways did LaMelo Ball help Con Knipple almost win Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, Con was like almost a historic 3-point shooting season to where you look and you go, is this guy going to like threaten Steph's all-time threes record just in the volume and obviously the amount he was able to knock down? And then you just look at it in so many catch and shoots. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo led the NBA in catch and shoot 3-point attempts this year at 496, and Con was there at 493 right behind him. And Con hit a high percentage of those, but so much of that is LaMelo breaking down a defense. The Wolves played a game against Charlotte where like they kind of locked Con down, and it was very clear that if you make Con create on his own, that gets a lot more difficult. But where LaMelo, when he was on the court creating for Con, when LaMelo was on the court, hit 46% of his threes, which is just absurd this season. And that number dipped to 37 when LaMelo wasn't on the court. So it goes from like unbelievable, otherworldly to like pretty good, whether LaMelo's on the court or not. So I think it is like having a playmaker, having a guy with great vision. The more I've watched him, it's like, man, this guy sees the court and has the creativity to get guys the ball and hit the passes in the right spots with the right accuracy. So it's in the pocket that you need it to be in. So I think LaMelo just makes life easier for everybody. And that's why he had the best offensive rating in the NBA among non-Nuggets this year. Like that is by no accident.
So just in putting this together and connecting dunking related dots. Well, off what you just said with LaMelo Ball tied into Con Knipple and those fat percentages, and assuming you believe Anthony Edwards is one of the, if not the game's best spot up shooters, okay? I mean, all that factors into this LaMelo Ball move, right? Specifically Anthony and the spot up shooting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Minnesota, they've said it from when the season ended to now. Like, Ant had to work really hard this last season of, like, he was running point guard, which is not his natural position. I don't think it'll ever be his natural position. And they said, we want to get him easier buckets. And a lot of that is off ball. And how do you make it so the opposing defense can't be like, all right, we're putting 2 on Ant, make somebody else beat us. It's getting him off ball, getting him running off actions. Now you can't say he's not going to factor into this equation. Like Minnesota now has numerous different answers to get Anthony Edwards the ball, regardless of what your defensive approach is. And LaMelo, I think, could just make things easier for Ant offensively. That might free up Ant energy-wise because he can get greater shots through less effort now, and maybe that can kind of create a little bit more of a reascendance on the defensive end because we have seen that dip a little bit these last couple seasons. So I think just in general, life is easier for Ant moving forward with LaMelo on the team, and we might see an even better version of Ant than we've ever seen before.
Jace Frederick covers the Timberwolves for the Pioneer Press, TwinCitiesLive.com. Dane Mizutani, his cohort, was in studio a few weeks ago, and I know at TwinCitiesLive.com they had a $1 flash sale for like the whole year at that time. I'd check it out if I were you. I signed up that day, man. It's really cool. TwinCitiesLive.com. So finding a point guard to break down players and kick to Edwards has been the offseason A topic for the Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. And as Jace just explained, Ball seems to be perfect for that. But it's low hanging fruit and it needs to be included, even though it's so obvious. But like, what do you make of LaMelo's injury history? 246 regular season games possible. He's played like 105. What do you make of that?
So I think there's a little bit of concern there, just because when somebody has missed a lot of games, you do wonder how much things linger and just like durability. And, he's not maybe necessarily the sturdiest guy out there. He is tall and thin, and obviously if he's approaching the paint, he's putting himself sometimes in adverse conditions. But man, it seems like whenever they've been decent, he's been on the court a lot. So you do wonder in a lot of these seasons where, hey, if he has a little ailment here or there, whether it's the team perspective, his perspective of what's the point in rushing back here? We're terrible. The fact that they were playing so well, and this happened to be the season that he played 72 games, it's kind of a chicken or egg thing. Were they great because he was out there? Was he consistently out there because, they were a better team? So I think it's not really fair to judge until now. Is okay, that was a good team and he played a lot of games. Minnesota has generally been a pretty healthy team, and they're a play guys team. They're a play through things kind of team. So I'm willing to kind of wait and see on LaMelo of, okay, I will judge him moving forward now in Minnesota because guys seem to play more here, and that can be because of the training staff, and it can be because of team philosophy. So I would kind of withhold any judgment on, okay, this guy was on a team that was tanking a lot. So I'm not going to judge how many games he missed on that because there are often a lot of factors that go into that.
Excellent point. With us at Jace Frederick via X. With this move, the eventual return of DiVincenzo, the drafting of Duke's Isaiah Evans, and like with Edwards, McDaniels, and TJ, is it fair to say that they have deduced the best way to beat San Antonio and OKC is to nail volume three-pointers? Is that fair?
I think it is, PA. I think that is what it's oftentimes the best available shots you're going to get because both those teams have really high-level rim protection. They pressure the ball. It's can you break down, get halfway into the paint, maybe just get a foot in the paint, and then kick out once that defense collapses because those teams do collapse pretty hard. Oklahoma City gives up a lot of corner threes. That was the way the Spurs beat Oklahoma City, was having, frankly, a couple outlier shooting games amid that Western Conference Finals, especially in Game 7. And that's also how New York beat San Antonio. They generated a lot of really good three-point looks, and you've got to be able to get those and knock those down. And Minnesota now could be one of the higher volume, comfortable shooting teams where you can generate a lot of those looks as you do against those teams, and then have guys who can really knock them down. So I think that's a really good point. I think that this does look to be kind of the way that it goes now, and I think Minnesota's comfortable playing a little bit smaller if that's what's required. We just saw San Antonio basically play without a power forward, and they beat the Thunder that way, and they made it to the NBA Finals that way. And yeah, maybe Minnesota will not be quite as big, but I think we'll have more guys who can drive, kick, and then shoot and finish on the back end of it.
FIDA, Fairness and Dane Moore Act, because I gravy trained this from his podcast with Jace. What level of defense can we expect with this new group?
I think it could be because of just still like who the fabric of who they are, and Rudy Gobert on the court, and Berenger, I think, will be still like a good backline defender when Rudy's off the floor now for those 18, 20-ish minutes a game. I think it could be just above average, not elite anymore. I don't think that. I think it has been not awesome defensively in recent years. LaMelo is long, but not awesome defensively. But they do have pieces. Jalen Clark's a good defender. Jaden McDaniels is obviously very good. Rudy is still, I think, like a walking top 12-ish defense. So I would expect them to be right around 10th. And I think if they could do that and be as lethal as they maybe are positioned to be offensively, that's a really good, dangerous basketball team. So I think it'll look a little different than what we've seen the last couple of years. But I still think better than average should be their goal from the outset.
How much would you guess Berenger's inclusion and his play increase next season?
I think it's a lock that he's going to play. They like him too much, and they see the potential, and I think they feel like, okay, this is the year for him to be off the bench, certainly, not like playing 25 minutes a game, but to get his feet wet and really test a lot of things and have him grow into this role and see then if he's ready for more moving forward past this season. But I would say if he does not play 15 to 20 minutes a game, I would be stunned.
I thought Jalen Clark's tweet was cool when he re-signed. He wrote, quote, time to make a jump. Then in parentheses, time to make a jumper. That was quite clever, wasn't it?
I like it. It was funny, and it's self-aware. I think he knows, okay, like he came into last season media day saying, I think if I make 40% of my threes, I'll be out there. Yeah. Well, he made 32. And I think he knows that, hey, if I want a consistent role on this team, like you just mentioned, the value of three-point shooting, I think Minnesota is going to emphasize that, and they know they need it against the elite teams. I think Clark knows he's going to have to hit a higher percentage than he did, especially early in the year. He kind of, I think, tanked his value, tanked his possibilities for bigger roles with really struggling from beyond the arc. So he knows it, and I think that's a great sign for Minnesota because then that if he knows that this is what has to happen for him to be on the court. What do you think he's going to be doing all summer? What do you think he's probably been doing? Minnesota got him on a really good team-friendly 3-year deal, and if he does get up to 38% from three along with his defense, that is a really valuable player on a great contract.
Jace, are you expecting any more moves this summer, or do you think they're kind of set?
They could, if they wanted, they could move heaven and earth. They don't want to trade Dante from everything I've heard as well. I know John Kay has reported that too. They don't feel good about the idea of trading somebody who just, suffered such a serious injury in the playoffs and is rehabbing. They could, in fact, put in Josh Green, Dante DiVincenzo, even TJ Shannon, and try to go out and search for like a bigger, high money power forward to round out that starting lineup. I don't see it. I think that they will just kind of make moves around the margins, minimums, maybe fill the power forward like a $5 million a year contract just to get a slight upgrade there so you have a good option off the bench. But I do think it's largely set, and we're looking at ancillary pieces now to round this thing out.
Last two. What do you know about Purdue rookie Trey Kaufman-Renn?
I watched a little bit of him. I watched a couple of their tournament games by happenstance. I think he's a solid player. Rebounds, obviously can score in the post. I know Matt Lloyd, general manager of the Timberwolves, said that they were impressed in workouts that he could guard a little bit more on the perimeter. I think that'll be important. I expect him to maybe be like a two-way guy, but we'll see in the summer league here. But he's an older guy who's in a winning program, and I think Minnesota could use more and more of that. They talked about connectivity, high IQ. I think Renn kind of fits that mold. So if you can just get him in your program, I think that could be a good thing for Minnesota. And we'll kind of see. That'll be an interesting one. There are a few different wrinkles for summer league that'll be interesting to watch, and he's one of them.
Are you heading to Vegas for any hot summer league action?
Not this year. I've taken on more editing roles at the Pioneer Press, and it's a little bit harder to get out for like a week at a time. But I'll be watching from afar.
So you're working on the desk a little bit?
A little bit more kind of running some stuff during the day, which is interesting, but still plenty of room for Wolves coverage on top.
Did they still use pica poles?
They do not.
I mean, if I got to measure that thing up, don't you? I mean, make sure 14, 16, 18 inches. Then the editor-in-chief or the sports editor asked Jace for a 16-inch story, sends 19, and now we got controversy.
I have seen some people still send in those, like when we have various freelancers send stuff in and it comes in that format, and I'm like, okay, gotta kind of unpack this thing. I still remember using them in college. I have not used them in a long time, but it is not uncommon for them to still come across the desk.
Right. See, so now next time you're on the desk, this chat probably will have you looking for every split infinitive and every sentence beginning with the non-essential clause, and just getting your pica pole editing skills on. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Hey, have a wonderful summer, and we greatly appreciate you, man. That was fantastic. Look forward to the next time.
Sounds good, PA. Thanks for having me on, man.
Later, bud. Jace Frederick covers the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Pioneer Press and TwinCitiesLive.com at Jace Frederick via X. And like I said earlier, man, I fist bumped Jace. I know Jace. I mean, like we all kind of know each other, working in the local core four of sports world, but I haven't chatted with Jace that much. Love him on the Day More NBA podcast, and am really, really happy that he was able to help us today with some LaMelo Ball chat, speculation, steam, and information. Thank you very much, Jace. When we return, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the most controversial segment we will offer up today, 9 to noon. We have a fill-in producer today, and his bits and bets.
Check your watch and tell me what time it is.
10:41 bits and bets at 10:46.
Now peek your head out and tell me what the climate is.
Blue skies for today, but super, super hot and sticky. It's 9 to noon.
It's PA.
I know you only have 5 listeners, so I would probably be safe.
Weekdays, not...
Your chance to score Mall of America Summer Mystery Prizes are back. Grab one at our KFAN events. Anytime you see the KFAN Street Team this summer, you can redeem it at Mall of America for discounts and exciting prizes. You can check out all of our upcoming events, KFAN.com, keyword calendar. it's News Du Nord, whether it's Brett's Bits and Bets, whether it's Max's Musings, whether it's Sports Essentials, whatever you call it, it's brought to you by Canterbury Park. Live racing, you can hear PA, see him with his enormous, giant binoculars, that is. Or you can feel the felt. You can play blackjack like I would do, Canterbury Park. Or you can get the Dave's Faves as well, Super Stats Dave Handlin. There's only one thing I want to talk about for Brett's Bits and Bets.
Number 1.
You can imagine what it is. It's a World Cup. It's the most important thing there is right now, just because we're in the sports abyss, and that's the thing that's filling our times. There are some great games today, but to me, the headliner is the first one, Brazil, Japan. If you look on ESPN right now, the head coach of Brazil is saying, we're not going to give in to Japan's mind games. There's mind games being played with Japan and Brazil. And this game, PA.
Hi.
Hello.
What'd I miss?
You missed me setting up my bet. Brazil, Japan. I had to dig deep for this.
Setting up your bet is 10:50.
Yeah, I know. But I wanted, this is the first game of the day, and this is what I feel strongly about.
Is there a game at 11 a.m.?
There it is at noon today. So right when we're done.
Let me. How am I going to phrase this? By the way, Charlotte Hornets sideline analyst Shannon Spake, late scratch today, will join 9 to noon tomorrow. That technically that's my Al. I did not know that she was doing pit reporting for TNT in Napa Valley in Sonoma, California. So therefore, I should ask for Tuesday in the first place. Okay, 3-2. But here's the question. Do you like betting? Do you like sports betting? Not saying do you do it. Do you like it?
Of course I can't.
Right.
But I do, I would dabble every once in a while.
Do you enjoy it?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you feel you get it? In other words, so-and-so's minus 225, the other team comes back plus 185. What are we going to do with that run line? Do you like pleasers, teasers, parlays, point spreads? Like, what do you like?
I'm told parlays are a waste. That's what I'm told by elite gambling minds. Just throw away your money. I typically like spreads. I like trying to think, especially in football.
Well, the reason I ask,
harder in soccer.
The reason I ask is because you are charged this segment with Brett's Bits and Bets, with stretching this to 11 to 11:04. And if you're part of the bet part of the equation already, I'm like, all right, well, then we're going to be done about 10:55, and but then I'm thinking, well, he might get betting in that you're recognizing Brett's Bets as part of the Bits and Bets has hit at an 88.3% clip over the last 3 years. I mean, you won 8 in a row at one point when Norda was gone for several weeks. And then I think we took a couple of L's. But overall, it's been very, very solid. And for you to offer up the bets portion of the Bits and Bets at 10:52 with a game at noon, bro, that means you get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by all means, go ahead, Mbappe.
I mean, I would just say fuel up your car and head either east or south or west.
Do you know
any direction, really?
Do you know the name Trent Condon?
I'm very familiar.
Trent Condon, along with Kenny Miller at KXNO, and he just lost his job. I just saw it on Twitter. I got no idea what he said. I might have been the last guest. No, because Kirk Ferentz was after me. It was last week. Kenny Miller, former racetrack announcer, Assiniboia Downs, Prairie Meadows. I've known Kenny for multiple decades. Did a sports radio show down there. I think he was the first to do local sports in the state of Iowa, like 3 decades ago. Well, his producer and his sidekick was Trent Condon. So I'm chatting with him the other day, and Kenny's retiring from radio and rolling just to Prairie Meadows and Altoona to do what Kevin Gorg and Angela Herman do at Canterbury, analyze horses. At least that's the part of the story that I know that was shared with me on the radio. So then at the end of the chat, I'd go on with Ken and Trent. 5 to 10 times a year, mostly during football season, and they always like to have me then follow me with Sinegan and get me to talk a little trash to Cinny or Cinny to talk a little trash to me. So then, like, at the end of the interview, I'm like, all right, Ken, well, God bless you, brother, and I'll be watching you via teleracing from Prairie Meadows. What up, Trent? I mean, are you still around, man? You got my number. Call me anytime because he's a Bears fan. Call me anytime you want to talk NFC North. He's like, oh, yeah, no, everything's good. Yeah, I can't wait to call you. Then all of a sudden, I crack open the tweet machine this morning. My man lost his job for speaking out about Ken Miller not getting to do his final show for whatever the reason. And like he went after corporate and they just fired him. Holy cow. I mean, that's an absolute aside, everything we're talking about now, but I know you're from Iowa.
That's my hometown station, yeah. I grew up in Altoona.
Okay, KXNO is?
Oh, yeah.
So you know Trent?
I knew a lot of them.
Ah, really? You know Kenny?
Oh, yeah. Me and Ken did, like, hockey, because he's a Canadian.
Yeah.
So we did hockey stuff when I was down there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up, my first job was Prairie Meadows.
So you knew what I was talking about?
Oh, 100%.
Was it?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay,
I'll say this, the best call letters in the country.
So he got after corporate on the radio?
That's my understanding.
Okay, so you don't know more than I do, just what off this tweet, or maybe you do and you just would prefer not to share.
Well, he spoke out against what happened, and what happened to him. So I think
I got it, brother.
Well,
I just followed him on Twitter and retweeted the thing, and I'm about ready to say goodbye to Kenny and Trent on social media unless we got something lurid and lascivious taking place here. And I don't want to get into any kind of a meat grinder in the sun in the summer where I have to walk around New Orleans with my head down and come back and tell everybody I got to be better.
Yeah, there's a great clip of a soccer coach somewhere that's kind of a meme that goes, I know if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Amen.
And
I
that's
got you.
where I'm at right now.
I got you, brother.
Hey.
Right. Thanks for listening.
KXNO, unbelievable call letters. Though they talk about the X's and O's. Anyways.
Right.
Brazil, Japan. This game's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
Japan is going to make this a close game.
Mm-hmm.
The over-under is 2.5.
We're going with an over-under in the World Cup.
That's
for
right.
Bits and bets.
This is going to be an overwhelming game.
Wow.
Brazil, Japan, 2.5 goals. That's nothing.
Really?
If Brazil wins 2-1,
okay,
we're in the money.
Okay, so
plus 120.
Plus 120 to go over 2.5 goals.
That's correct.
So you're telling me in a knockout round where if you take the L like South Africa, you're done.
Yes.
That's it. Fly back to your country. You're saying that things will not defensively tighten up in a way. And by the way, it's the beautiful game, which generally skews the way of the lower scoring variety. So you're telling me despite all that and defenses clamping down because there's no tomorrow, you're going to fly right in the face of all of those theories and go with the over?
Well, if it was... Trying to think. If it was England, well, even they can score. If it was a team that...
Well, they can score if they can handle somebody's low block.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet the
How
over.
About that? You didn't give me any credit for the
that was great. If you can break down the low block.
Low block terrorism, because when they played Ghana, well, that was the bit. They could not penetrate or get around this low block defensive approach taken by Ghana.
I don't think Brazil's going to do that.
Right.
And I don't think Japan's going to do that. Japan likes to attack. They had a really entertaining game against the Dutch, the Netherlands, where dramatic comeback. They tie them 2-2. They're a plucky little team.
Is that the team that Holland plays for?
Norway.
Norway plays for. Yeah, they're in the 32, right?
Yes, they are.
Holland's the bomb.
He's really good.
I never heard of him until last week. Thought he was a character from a James Bond movie when I saw him running around with a rubber band around his ponytail, and I'm like, damn, my man's big and good.
Yeah, I'm not convinced he's not a robot, because he certainly plays like it. And Man City loves him. I think this Japan team is going to make this a game. Give me the over, hammer the over. To take a bit from KXNO, bet you has on the over. That 2.5 goals, which is not saying much.
Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
Well, that was compelling. What else is there?
There's Germany, Paraguay, which I do expect Germany to win, but maybe not comfortably. Paraguay, despite them getting thrashed by the red, white, and blue, they still are, a good defensive side.
I thought, and by the way, are you and Nordo still doing that podcast?
Yes, I think we might.
Maybe it's just you
tonight.
this week or something? Oh, okay, so he's going to record from the respite. Cool. Where can people find that?
On the free iHeartRadio app, Stars and Strikers, or on the KFAN YouTube channel.
Stars and Strikers, I like that. That's a podcast if you're looking to hear more about the beautiful game. But
turns out syncing up Lavelle's schedule and Nordo's schedule harder than you might think between the two of them.
Oh yeah, forgot. Oh yeah. So 10 of 10 more about this than me. So I've watched every minute of the first 2 USA games. I've watched every minute of 2 France games. I watched half of Great Britain, England, and Ghana. And I watched probably 15 minutes of USA, Turkey, simply because they were flying home. They had nothing for which to play, and we're not playing Antonio Freeman's kid or Bougainvillea. And we don't have my guy in net, Brad Guzan. So therefore, I'm out. But I'm back on Wednesday. We're all back on Wednesday. Bosnia, though. When I watched Paraguay, L after L. I mean, they clomp. They just kind of clomp. And it didn't happen in the Turkey game. What are you going with there?
I'm going Turkey. One of the two.
Right, so you've looked it up too. Yeah, I've listened to it. And the Turks. The Khans! The Turks! We can call them the Turks. So I didn't watch much of that game. However, the first 2 games, I do not think it can be denied that we are such a vastly improved worldly soccer program that we are putting so much pressure and giving so much anxiety and so much strife and so much nervousness to the rest of the world. We're forcing teams to score on themselves.
I always love that one.
I mean, honestly, scoring on yourself is so freaking bad for business in your country. And Paraguay and Australia both scored on themselves. Why? Because of the immense offensive pressure applied by the red, white, and blue. So I'm not going to do what that Los Angeles news lady did with Bosnia being like, I don't know where it is on the map, and we coming, and just all that. Lady got in trouble too, but it's the age of rage. Shouldn't surprise me. I ain't tripping on Bosnia. I don't know anything about Bosnia, but I know 20 for us and Antonio Freeman's kid, and just the way we play. And our coach is cool as bleep, by the way. I don't know his name, but I mean, I gotta find where he gets that blue corduroy button-down collared thing that he wears over T-shirts.
Yeah, roll up the sleeves.
Woo!
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Vikings road trip Saturday, get to the facility, get on the bus with that sweet thing, fly to Green Bay, and then like that's your travel attire. The thing is, our coach is so cool. But Paraguay, man, they just, I don't know, I thought they clomped a little bit. So they're in the 32?
They're in the 32.
Paraguay made it to the 32?
They did.
How?
Well, with the expansion, they decided, because there's the groups of 4, and they decided, well, some of the best third place teams will also go through, but they get the worst matchups.
Well, they decided, or is there a formula?
No, there is a formula. Okay. There's goal differential.
Like throwing darts up in this thing?
Yeah, pretty much spin a wheel.
Yeah. Papa from Ghana. You're familiar, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good dude.
Yeah, great guy, and super knowledgeable with football or soccer. And he was in studio last week, and I mean, you elite Franz Beckenbauer, Ricky Davis, Pele, Maradona mind. You all know this. I didn't. The importance of the financial wherewithal to certain countries in the world by advancing through the World Cup. Mm-hmm. Holy cow, man! That's literally when you say it's a life changer. It changes thousands, if not tens of thousands, of lives within some of these smaller countries. It's just so deep and rich and compelling, and I mean, if you can eliminate, jettison, or make elevator music in one ear out the other, the snot-nosed kid terrorism, where it's basically like, it's too loud. Yeah, I'm not cheering for a hooking pass that went 70 yards and caught a guy in stride. Cool, don't. I mean, people in the age of rage, well, they got to get out there and they got to splash, because then we spend the rest of the day hopefully looking at that slot machine on X roll and the likes and the retweets. I'm going to wait to see what people have to say about what they said. We don't care. And great, if you don't like it and if you don't dig it, I'm not going to be the one that says you don't get it. You probably don't. And there are definitely facets of soccer that I don't get. Be a sports snob, okay? Be a sports snob, snot-nosed kids. And that involves at least spending a little time rooting for your country, following your country, maybe learning a little bit about the players. And then when they start playing the games, go ahead and take your eye off the ball. And then when the ball's in flight, go ahead and look at what goes into the physicality of getting position to retrieve the pass, or the sneaky picks that are set on passes that I never knew existed. I mean, I played soccer for like 9-10 years when in Southern California and outside of Washington, D.C. Nothing super highly competitive. Certainly not claiming that I get it more than even anybody. I was a fullback, and I don't even know if they call them fullbacks anymore. But the when you watch it at this level and you see, all right, what's he going to do? All right, I mean, like LaMelo Ball, we've talked about him a lot today. The way he handles the ball. You're a hockey guy. The way certain people stick handle, specifically in tight quarters. Or think Patrick Kane in a shootout. Back when Patrick Kane was 10 of 10 high end, right, in a shootout, his stick handling and that slow roll thing is sports immortality. Well, LaMelo Ball's ball handling, I said this last week, somebody tried to take me deep with Ricky Rubio, and with respect, you're wrong. LaMelo Ball is the greatest ball handling point guard in the history of Minnesota Timberwolves basketball. And to say that, you have to watch him to know how he handles the ball, what it gets him into, and what he gets out of. Now, he also potentially might be the greatest or worst 1-foot 3-point shooter in the history of Timberwolves basketball too, but we can put that off to the side for August. That's the same thing with the beautiful game, with soccer, where there's nuance in tight quarters where if you don't play it, you don't follow it, you don't get it until you watch it. And if you're a sports snob, you need to start looking for it. And what I'm talking about is when they cross what would be the 50 or midfield and they start angling that thing in for a set piece or some type of play. All right, well, they make eye contact. That's the key. Because hands are flailing as you're trying to beat somebody with the ball. So they make eye contact, and then the ball sails in the air, and go ahead and watch one or two guys running to pick guys so the ball can get to a certain spot, and the guy they want to get it gets it. Mm-hmm. And it's so sneaky and subtle, and not many people talk about it, and I think that really plays into the beauty of the beautiful game. The strategery and the strategic nature. It's so hard to score in that game, man. So you got to be strategic with the few opportunities you may get. I have a very high level of appreciation for how this thing is executed on the worldly level, and this is the most World Cup I've ever watched in my life. With respect, I'm not trying to be weird here or anything, or like make people call me an idiot. But when the Vikings played the New Orleans Saints at Tottenham Hotspur, I'm walking in to go down to the field probably 2 hours, 15 minutes before the game. And there were some guys in black suits, and they were the heavies. I didn't realize that they were like somebody's security walking around with them. So I fist bumped Harry Kane.
I always loved that one.
And I had no idea who Harry Kane was. So the Tottenham team had just come over to Twin Cities Orthopedic Performance Center. Remember that?
Yeah.
So there was like a son something Lee who I met. You know what I'm saying? Like
Heung-Min Son. Yeah.
What's his name?
Heung-Min Son. He just got eliminated the other day.
So he was there at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, and I was watching a kickoff between him and the Vikings field goal kicker, and it was really cool. But like Harry Kane didn't make that trip. And I don't even know if he played for that team, but I think he did at the time because it was known that he couldn't make the trip.
Yep.
So I had heard the name.
I miss him every day.
I had no idea the status Harry Kane had in London, England. I mean, it's Michael Jordan. It's LeBron James. It's Wayne Gretzky. It's maybe not that old school because he's still playing, but it's Connor McDavid. It's Nathan McKinnon. It's Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean?
I mean,
right, he was unbelievably cool. What an awesome guy he is.
The club was made in like the 1880s, and Harry Kane is the leading scorer in
all time.
All time.
Oh, Bryce immortality forever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm like low key a Harry Kane fan. I like to watch him play, and I know he's up there in years. But hopefully people rally around this Wednesday. And just enjoy a knockout round game with your favorite country, and advancing to the 16, then the 8th, and the 4, and maybe shocking the world, because it would be shocking the world if the United States of America, it's not the gold, it's just like wins the World Cup and you get a trophy, right?
Correct.
Would it be? I mean, have we now played enough games where it's like the USA no longer is a shocker to win this, or is it still no, this would blow the world away if USA won
the whole thing?
The whole thing.
It would destroy the soccer world. It would be a total shock.
Go ahead and tell me they can't.
Well, they can.
I love my country.
Into the tournament, would you have said they can't? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most elite learned soccer minds.
Yeah.
But now it's fair. I just know what I've watched sports long enough. Now this is FISA, Fairness and Soccer Act. I have not watched Argentina play. I only know one person on England. It's Harry Kane. I've watched France twice. Haven't seen Germany. Got no idea what the Spaniards are doing. Okay, so there are probably some pillars of excellence out there that I'm missing. All I know is what I'm seeing with the United States of America team, and that's an athletic team. It is an athletic, fast team that, as part of this generation, is not fearless. Is fearless. They're just not afraid of things. So
I love my country.
Go ahead and doubt the colors, red, white, and blue.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead and doubt those colors. Anything else?
No, World Cup. There's a potentially LeBron to Warriors team that's going on.
Well, Draymond Green, I think, just turned down his $27.5 million thing. So NBA free agency's around the corner. So I saw a report Draymond Green will not be back with the Golden State Warriors. That freed up some money, so they can start. What they want to do, I read it over the weekend, and it was from the right names, or I wouldn't share it now. I think the Golden State Warriors want to trade Jimmy the Bulldog. They want to trade Jimmy Butler, somehow finagle their way to LeBron James and Anthony Davis playing with Steph Curry. So I think that's what you saw.
And then finally, Victor Hovland beat Scotty this morning in the Travelers playoff.
This morning, it's Monday.
I know. They were tied. They got suspended for darkness. They played the playoff this morning. Victor wins. So Hovland is your Travelers champion over Scotty.
Is Sheffy on a little bit of a decline right now?
I mean,
not precipitous, but I mean, when's the last time he won?
It's been a little while, but he's had a lot of good finishes.
Right.
So that depends on. He's been on a winning slide, but maybe not a golf slide.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he hasn't won a whole bunch, but for a normal golfer, he's on a historic run. You know what I mean? With top finishes, and he just finished. Probably should have won this tournament. So
okay,
he's still very good.
You following those Phil Mickelson stories?
Which I wasn't.
This show is naughty and might make you a potty mouth.
That's Double B, Brett Blakemore, and I'm Paul Allen. That's Brett's Bits and Bets. His bet for today takes place at noon. It was an over in Japan-Brazil World Cup. Over 2.5 Japan-Brazil World Cup, to which the response was,
why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet?
But then we looked into the way Japan plays the game, and it's like,
that's what this team is all about, defense and breaking hearts.
Defense and breaking hearts, man, and we got an over. Sounds like we're living right. Thank you very much for that. I'm Paul Allen. 9 to noon continues around the corner. It's your favorite radio station. It's FM 100.3. It is KFAN.
It's PA.